Folks, Mike Dunleavy Jr., the Warriors GM, just held a massive press conference, 10 minutes, speaking about Jonathan Kuminga's contract, what they're going to do in the draft, trading the 41st pick, picking there, potential trade options, big money contracts this offseason. A very wide-ranging interview. We're going to break it all down on this episode of Warriors Digest. Please like, please subscribe so you don't miss anything. Draft is literally 24 hours away from the recording of this video when it drops on YouTube. Then you have actual free agency, summer league, trades, more. Myself and Arthur doing a great job breaking it down for you. Please subscribe. It helps us grow the channel. All right, a lot to get to. No time to waste. Let's get to it. So the biggest news of the offseason is Jonathan Kuminga. We know that. Mike Dunleavy Jr. asked point blank, what is going to happen? Here we go, folks.
Free agency, and how do you hope that situation plays out?
Yeah, so we can start with the finals ending last night. We can start, pursuing that right now, leading up into free agency, and I think we're in a good spot with it. Honestly, we have the ability to bring him back. He's restricted, and I think there'll be good dialogue, and I'd like to figure something out sooner than later. That'd be great, but
Pausing there because it's important. Sooner than later, because his contract literally dictates everything the Warriors can do. If they bring him back, it'll probably be 20 to 30 million, you think? They're restricted, really tough at the aprons. If he's not, a lot more money to play with in free agency.
I also acknowledge with restricted free agency, these things can drag out a little bit and take some time. But I think we feel pretty comfortable with who JK is as a player, and what he can do for our organization. And we'll continue. It's a main priority going into free agency.
Of course, you feel comfortable with him. You've seen him for 4 years. You should. Has he played as much as he should or shouldn't have? That's up to you to decide. Strong offensively at times. Defensively can be a liability. Obviously, this season up and down with the Butler and his injury.
What would be the benefits of getting something done sooner than later? Like, why do you want that to happen?
Yeah, I think just clarity, right? Roster clarity in terms of what else we need to add in free agency. Also, what we have to spend in terms of minimums, exceptions, those different types of things. So I think that's the sooner the better for everyone. His sake too, I would say. I would believe, but like I said, restricted free agency can be a little different. So we may have to be patient.
Yes, and it hopefully doesn't take time. You should know what's happening with your player. You've been with him. But again, you look right here, Kaminga, $7 million, restricted free agent. But then you also have Looney, you have Payton, you have Knox, you have Key, Armstrong, who should be staying, and Post, who should be staying. All there. So if you don't bring Kaminga back, 20, 30 million, you can go ahead and get some players out there. We broke them down. You can check out the videos of who's the free agents out there. But it really decides everything. Kaminga will get 10 years, $7 million, guaranteed. Now the question is, will another team offer him big money? Brooklyn's the only team that can really offer him 20 million plus. So the question is, do we do sign and trade if that's where he wants to go, or if he stays? I've broken down on another video per Joe Lacob. He wants Kaminga. He likes Kaminga. Maybe they do a 2+1, 2 years, third year's of player option. So that's your Kaminga. We'll know very shortly because starting June 30th is when you can negotiate with your restricted free agents. Now, let me pull up my screen. Dunleavy Jr. Warriors entering 2025 NBA offseason with a clear priority in mind. As he talks about, what is that priority? And what they saw from the playoffs? Let me make sure it's there. Defense is still really important. Duh. And then the offensive end, to be able to space the floor to combat these defenses. Shooters, space the floor. The Buddy Hield game, Game 7 against the Rockets, did nothing against the Wolves. Kaminga, can he shoot threes more? BP, shot better. Moody, shot okay. But again, they both got surgeries this offseason. Other than that, you had Lindy Waters, who was supposed to be a good shooter. You traded him away. DeAnthony Melton, torn ACL. GP2 is not the biggest shooter. Spacing and shooters. Defense first and then offense. So that's the type of players you should expect them to get. When is the number one defense in the league not good enough? when it gets demolished in the playoffs. And that's what happened. We posted a league best 109 defensive rating over the final 9 weeks of the regular season. That's when Jimmy came to the team. But it didn't matter in the playoffs because Julius Randle destroyed us. Destroyed us. Steven Adams destroyed us. Fred VanVleet destroyed us. Anthony Edwards, first halves usually didn't. Second halves destroyed us. And fair enough, we didn't have Steve Kerr. Wolves averaged 115 a game in their 4 wins. Offensive rating 116. 7 points more better than it was before that. Effective field goal percentage 60%. 6 out of 10 shots are going in. That's not good. Not good. OKC posted 117. Timberwolves hosted a 117. Oh my God. The Timberwolves posted an offensive rating of 111.7 against OKC. 5-6 points less. Field goal percentage down a full shot. 63 to 54. Well, true 63, 57, 60, 54. So you got to get back to playing better defense right now. Steve Kerr, not a defensive-minded coach. Normally, that's where Jerry Stackhouse has come in. GP2, free agent. Is he going to come back? Is he still that type of on-point defender? Do you need somebody else? OKC has Lou Dort, Caruso. Minnesota has Jaden McDaniels. Houston has Amon Thompson. Who is our guy? Used to be Klay Thompson. Used to be GP2. We don't really have that. Rim protector, Trayce Jackson-Davis. Okay. Looney, okay. Kind of over the prime now. Even though he's like 31. Draymond Green, still top 3 all-defensive player, but you need that big guy. Quinten Post is not that big guy. That's where Brook Lopez, Al Horford, Clint Capella, Ben Simmons, but he's not a defensive player, could be coming in. So think about it. Defensive players as we move through this. Adding a big salary is almost impossible. Again, because you look at the Warriors, where we're at in the cap, I'll break it down in a second. We just can't get there. Only because just of our salary structure and the way it works with the amount of money you can use underneath the second apron. That probably restricts it more than anything for us in terms of pursuing the best roster we can. I think we'll look at stuff. We'll look at players that we really like, that we just got to be. It's just almost impossible for us to add players in the salary range of guys we're looking at last summer since we added Jimmy. Why is that? Because Jimmy, Steph, and Dre are making 80%, 7% of your salary. Look right here. 62 million, 56 million, 26. Very top heavy between Curry and Butler. Now, if Curry or Butler could take a hometown discount, they're not going to. It'd be nice. But that's where the second apron, folks. $36 million to that point. If Kaminga gets 20 to 25 million, you have 9 to 10 million, and you can't get over that second apron. It's going to destroy your team. Look at the Suns. So, if Kaminga isn't there, you can go get a couple of nice pieces. But if Kaminga is there, then he better step up and be that fourth guy. And that's where they're hindered. And that's why they want Kaminga to go quick, because it really dictates. And if he's going to take his time and they're going to take time negotiating, some of those higher-end free agents may be gone before you get there. 90% of the salary cap, $140 million to Curry, Butler, and Green. That's crazy. That would be the limiter after they acquire Butler again. Re-sign Kaminga. You can bring him and develop him with hopefully a better opportunity next to Butler. Which Butler, Green, Kaminga, Steve Kerr didn't like. What about trading for the draft? As far as the trade, we'll look at stuff. He told reporters, I think most likely in the second round, it's probably looking at moving up or back within that round. Is there a possibility we could move into the first round? Sure. I wouldn't put it as highly likely, but you never know. On draft night, you get calls, you explore things, you look at stuff, and we'll continue to do that. We don't have our first round pick. Excuse me, went to the Heat for Jimmy Butler and other players and picks. Now, we have the 41st pick. And I've been putting out videos. It's linked right here. Go check it out. Of all the different draft prospects they brought in, or reports of who could be a good fit. We've got some free agents that have priorities. Kaminga, what's happening there. GP2, Looney, et cetera, et cetera. Have to handle our own business. But some of that stuff may lead into trades or other things. Sign trade Kaminga. Also, we got round up in the big deal last summer, multi-team trade, Jimmy Butler. Anytime you get into free agent stuff and you start looking at exceptions and cap space, it lends itself to being opportunistic. We'll be in the mix. We'll see what we can do. And that's why, it's the same article. It's going to be impossible for them to add anybody. So it's going to be interesting, folks. This is what you got to work with right here, the salary. And the Warriors make their first move on draft night. I do not expect anything big to happen. I think they're going to take a 3-point 3-and-D shooter. I've been broken down those players, or a traditional center. From there, it's wide open, and it all depends on what happens with Kaminga. Comment your thoughts, subscribe, and of course, stay locked in, Warriors Digest fans. We're going to have everything for you. See you on the next episode, which could be tonight if something breaks. Could be tomorrow. Definitely draft news, because draft is Wednesday. Obviously, if we don't do anything Wednesday, we don't have a first-round pick. That's fine. We'll talk about maybe what happens in the second round. But Thursday, move will have to be made. Trade or take the pick.